Hey, my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are here with another one, and we are talking all things Married at First Sight, season 12. So, if you're new to this channel, I'm Intisar. This is my beautiful fiance, Joe.
Hey.
Okay, and we have come together to talk about all things Married at First Sight. So, this is episode, and I'm not sure.
This will be episode 10.
Episode 10.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
This is episode 10. And we're getting into it. They're about 3 weeks in. This one is called 3 Weeks the Charm. All right. So I figured we just open it up with who opened up the show. And that was Virginia and Eric.
Yeah.
And Virginia opens up the show giving us her passwords.
I mean, just like as if there aren't millions people watching.
But you could tell Eric was sitting there like, what the
yeah, she's like, so what are your passwords? And he's like, similar. Like, how do you answer that? Like, that was weird.
Right, like _+.
But she not all. It just shows all the air that's in her head. Like, she not all the way there, and
I think she wants to be there. I think that they talk about things that are easy, and as they move through the episode, you realize they say that they're great. Oh, everything is great. Everything is fine. But they don't really talk about subjects that actually matter. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what is their primary issue, especially because he is a Trump supporter.
Y'all, he is, and it was made very clear
He's a Trump
in this
supporter.
Episode. Now,
and not to say that, no, never mind. Trump supporters are bad. Go ahead.
See, because that's the thing. It's the difference. There's a difference between
being a Republican.
Yeah. And being a Trump supporter.
That's
being a Republican isn't bad, which is where I think your statement was about to be born from.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being a Republican. That's your choice. Being a Trump supporter is a whole different thing that comes with a whole different boat of attributes and things that come along with it.
Yes.
And we said this in week one or two.
We did say he was relatively conservative.
We noticed
he kept saying
that we was like, yeah, Eric might be a MAGA man. Like he might be on that tip. And I didn't like that they walked all around it in this episode. It was very clear when he dropped the cold word. She's about social issues. You know, I just believe in what I believe, and I saw the little MAGA flag or whatever he had on his face a couple of episodes ago. Yeah, so I assumed it was coming, and I feel like he confirmed it. And the way that they tiptoed around it confirmed it for me.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, that also has to be really hard for Virginia as well, because I really couldn't imagine being with somebody who we fundamentally have different beliefs. And even for him to call it like social issues. Like
that was a giveaway too, because that's what the MAGA people call Black Lives Matter, issues of transgender and gay community, issues of, that's what they call it social issues.
Absolutely. And it's just a matter of right or wrong. Like, it's just not even
period. It ain't nothing political about little black children getting shot and they back in the streets.
Right.
That's a human issue. That's humanity.
Thing.
That's a problem in society. And the way to skirt talking about it is to label it political.
Exactly. And it has absolutely positively nothing to do with that.
I think that in today's climate and in today's age, that is a real issue between couples and dating people, right? This Trump era has exposed a lot of things that were just swept under the rug, right?
Yeah.
So being in a household, people's families had fractured relationships in the Trump era. People's relationships with their parents, people's relationships with their people lost friends. We ourselves lost a couple friends.
That is a fact. Because some people all.
So what I didn't. So what I didn't like is the fact that they brushed over this. They tiptoed around it and brushed over it, because this is this ain't no different from coming from different religious backgrounds or feeling different about finances and spending here and spending there, splurging here and saving there. Yeah. This is just this is just as big of issue as any in today's climate. So to me, y'all missed the opportunity to tackle something that real couples, real families, real people are dealing with in today's age. I didn't like that they did that. I thought that was very weak of Lifetime, and it added to a pile of gripes that we've been having with them this season. Yeah. Like, that was an issue that y'all should have tackled head on. And Viviana came in super hot.
She came
about everything else. With everything else. So y'all had sex then? Right. Why didn't y'all? What happened? She was coming real direct. When it got to Eric and his views on social issues, everything was very general and very like, oh, so that's how you feel about you have a difference of opinion on things, right? Instead of using words saying, I'm a Trump supporter. You know what I'm saying? She like, you know, the girl said, my dad, him is just the same. Why not just ask her? So what do you mean your dad is also a starch MAGA card carrying Trump supporter, and they get along, and she even alluded to the fact that she is having issues with her family. She said, my family is like that. I'm not like that.
And I don't disagree with you. I think that to be a Trump supporter is really the symptom, right? The bigger issue.
Oh, that's deep.
Do you understand where I'm going? The bigger issue here is that you have fundamental things that you and I are not aligned on. And most of that is how we treat humans. Yes. You know what I mean?
It don't got nothing to do with politics.
It really don't
right
got
or left policy. It don't got
nothing to do with that. I think that is just a symptom of the issue that you believe it's okay to turn a blind eye to things that fundamentally harm, marginalize certain communities, and that's the issue here. Yeah. And I think that the thing that Dr. Viviana was saying, especially with Eric, because I saw that she didn't push back on him nearly as much as she should
at all.
Because even when they were talking about children and how he was like, well, we don't have a child in 10 years, I'm done. Like, who are you to think that you could dictate when a woman decides she wants to give birth? Yeah. Like that, the hubris, right? And I think that is a part of, he need deeper attention. Yeah. And I think that she knew that we are not going to be able to tackle this in this however long session I'm sitting here with you. So I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, because most therapy sessions are meant to take you on a journey and then bring you right full circle, right? Right back to that moment. You're sitting here, you're present in the moment at the therapist, right? So you don't feel like you leave unresolved. And I feel like had they taken on that conversation, it would have been left unresolved. It would have been, because we're talking about years. 30 some odd years of him getting to this point, right? And having these certain views. So I think that, you know, I don't 100% agree with how she handled it.
They didn't even label it though. Like y'all obviously wasn't going to tackle it in one day.
But that's why
she uncovered everything else with every other couple.
Well, that was obviously a second take.
We talking about this, you know what I mean?
That was a second take, because even the way that they skirted around it was obviously scripted. She obviously said in the beginning, he is a Republican in this climate. I do not. That's for certain.
I'm saying show it. I need to see it. I need to see
it. But
I
think also Lifetime, let's be honest, is a channel that is geared towards white women. Like, it really is. A lot of their content, a lot of their shows and movies is geared towards and marketed towards white women. And that's just the honest thing about it. And I think that they just did not want to offend a demographic that they market to. I really do believe that. So I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think that you're absolutely right. But I also see, for them, it's also business and marketing, and they don't want to lose any sponsors.
That's whack to me, though.
It is whack.
But even if they didn't get into it, they should have labeled it. Like, don't be scared about. Don't tiptoe around it. Even if y'all say, they never even said the word political. They never even said we have a difference of political views. Take. They said social. You know what I mean? I just thought if all the tiptoeing was whack to me. Yeah. And I just thought that they missed out on the opportunity to talk about, this is a real, y'all talk about every other real issue that real couples, real married couples, real people dating, have. This is the biggest one. This is the biggest one in our time right now.
But social differences, political differences, humanity differences are a big thing. So I agree. Now, I want to go on to something lighter. Virginia talked about her exes and following her exes on social media or whatever the case may be, and like interacting with them, liking their pictures, them liking her pictures. What do you guys think about that? Is that like acceptable? Are you following your exes? What do you think?
Yeah, that's not okay. But the thing was, the thing that my issue with Virginia and this part of their interaction wasn't that for her, and it goes back to when he was talking about communication with her. It wasn't that, she had a difference of opinion about, couples have a difference of opinions about things all the time. It's perfectly normal. It's that they're so egregious to her. Like the aspect of, we should communicate when we're not around each other was like, what? I needed to, if I go somewhere and then I get there, I'm supposed to tell you that I got there? That's weird, right? Yeah. And this reaction, like what he's saying is so asinine. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with you following your ex online and liking their pictures and what? Like that is the thing that's just, it's just like,
but I want to take y'all on a journey. Follow me, babe. So later on in the episode, Virginia and Eric talk about, just certain things that has crept up in their lives that kind of made them the way that they are. And Eric mentions that he's been cheated on in every single relationship, which is, to her, she took that as, that's why he wants her to, call him or do this or do that, not follow the exes, not hang out with the male friends, all this stuff like that. Even though I don't think that's the case. I just think that he was cheated on and now he got, he weary of people. But she said something that I thought was spot on, and it made sense to me why she needs to have this masculine energy in her life. Virginia stopped talking to her father for a long period of time, and she cut him off. And I think
another set of issues.
I think this is an issue thing, but I think this brings full circle, because I've been trying to figure out what is the tie. Because even if you got with any man, they not with that. Any man
at all.
Any man. And they might say, oh, it's cool or whatever. But as soon as you get around them, they watching you like a goddamn hawk. Like,
of course.
You know what I mean? So I've been trying to figure out, why is she so connected, aside from the fact that she has relationships with, friendly and familiar relationships with these people. But she said that because she had cut her father off, I think that she has had an emotional disconnect with men to the point where she seeks their acceptance and affection in all walks of life. It makes her a little bit more promiscuous, and those are her words. And it makes her want to constantly be in the presence of masculine energy. Now, what do y'all think? Did I take it there? Because I think that's what it is.
Okay, I can go with that.
You know what I mean? I think I'm starting to see her full circle now. But she got to check that, because to his point, it's not that I don't think it's cool. I just don't understand why. Yeah. Right? It's not even that it's cool or not cool. I think that why? That's your ex. Like, and not even that's your ex, but that's your ex. Like, if you're no longer dealing with this person and they don't serve the purpose and utility that they did before, what are you doing?
But not only that, the one thing that I've learned in, preparing for marriage and building a serious relationship with somebody who you have a vast amount of stock in, sweat equity, financial equity, all of it, right?
Because I want all
the one thing that I've learned is that you do not need to understand everything that you compromise on. Sometimes you just need to know that your spouse is just not with it. They just not okay with it. And if you think that you're going to have a deep understanding of everything that the opposite side is not okay with or bothered by, you bound to drizzle. It's not going to happen, right? Because you talking about till death do you part.
Yeah.
You're doing this thing for life.
Yeah.
Nobody understands 100% of everything from anybody in their life. So for you to think, I need an in-depth explanation to really pull me over the year. Sometimes it's just, I'm not okay with that. It makes me uncomfortable.
And that should be enough.
And that's all right. I'm not doing. Why you don't, Joe? Why you don't do so and so? Because she don't like it. Well, why did it? It don't matter. It doesn't matter. She doesn't like it. She not with it, and I want peace in my home. That's it.
But Joe, to Joe's point, Joe overcorrects. Joe do shit that I don't even be thinking about.
It does because I've been. Let me tell y'all, because I done known this woman for since she was knee high to a grasshopper, and I know how hot the smoke gets. And I just. But would prefer to stay on the other side of it. So do I overcorrect? Yes.
He overcorrect. But and it's appreciated. It's appreciated. But I do think that it made sense to me. And maybe even to Eric's point, a lot of the trauma of being cheated on or whatever the case may have brought him to a place where he's like, I ain't doing that mess again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't feel comfortable being with you having this many relationships.
But this is basic stuff. This isn't, you ain't even got to be with somebody who is jaded or traumatized. But
that's what I was saying.
Throw a rock and find a man who's okay with his woman only having male friends.
Right.
And following her ex and ex on Twitter, like, you know what I mean? Like, she got too many things that's just very basic. Too many things.
But let's move on to Briana and Vincent. I actually like this. First of all, I'm starting to like Briana and Vincent a lot more.
Yeah. I am too.
Yeah. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see it. And it feels good because it feels super organic.
Yes.
And that's what makes it feel good because you're actually seeing it like we having issues and we trying to figure it out, but we still in it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
they both want to, but that was my issue with them in the beginning. I felt it wasn't organic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I felt I'm touching you. I'm okay. I'm here for you. It's just, it was a lot of things that didn't feel organic to me. And I'm down for the organic growth. I'm down to see things happen as they unfold. Yeah. And I see them dealing with issues as they come. Yeah. And I see them dealing with them with a poise that I haven't seen in a lot of the couples, right? They're just like, okay, you snapped out.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I did, and I was wrong. And she's like, yeah, and and I think that's what you need. You need to just I
appreciate that, and I appreciated how he handled the moment with Dr. Viviana, like really coming in hot. Like, well, you say you want to be, friendly or whatever the case may be, or fun, but it don't look like it's going down like that. And I thought that they had such an open conversation about how he wants to show up like Rico Suave or whomever, and when life gets in the way, it bothers him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so wonderful that they had this conversation about, like, and her saying, like, I am impressed by you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm impressed about where we are. I'm impressed by you. You don't need to impress me with all the other BS. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's just be us.
Yeah.
And I thought that took a lot of pressure off of him. Because I think that two things are happening here, right? You just met a stranger and you're being filmed.
Yeah, which is a lot.
So I don't think it's just, honestly, I think that he probably would be less high-strung if there was no cameras around.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know what
because
I mean?
I think part of him trying to put on this facade or push out his representative or pump up his representative is the fact that there's millions of people watching.
Exactly.
So when I spill champagne on myself, I'm not only embarrassed in front of you, I'm embarrassed in front of him, because it's 10 people in the room. So I'm embarrassed in front of everybody in the room and the millions of people that's looking through his device. You know what I mean? So
I want to know what his sign is. I'm feeling like I'm getting real Leo Virgo energy. Virgo man is a, you know what I mean? But I'm getting a lot of Leo energy from him. So no, but he's not boisterous enough to be a Leo.
I don't know.
I need to think about that. Like, he giving me some energy. So I want to go. They actually end up playing Truth or Dare. This is a super easy one to talk about. Super cute. She's eating cheese and kissing with whipped cream.
But the game was a little messed up,
y'all.
It
was weird.
Like first of all, when you play, like, it wasn't exactly Truth or Dare. It was like truth or eat a cookie. Which is not a real. Y'all gotta spice it up. Like, you gotta answer the. Yeah, I wanted like a real. Because if we playing, you gonna have to like walk the plank, like, or you know what I'm saying. I answer this question, or if I answer it wrong, I gotta take a shot, or I gotta take a shot of some 3-day-old milk. Like, make it real. You know what I'm saying? It was just cutesy, but you know what I mean.
It was cutesy, but we needed it because these mother jumps on this show is Todd. So talking about Todd. let's talk about Clara and Ryan. This was rough to watch, Clara and Ryan. Like, I kind of felt like, okay, so Clara and Ryan meet with Dr. Viviana, and they talk about affection, their sex life, and Clara reveals that they do everything but putting the toe in the hole. Okay? Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything. And I kind of am like, she says something that kind of stood out to me, where she said that she doesn't like have assign emotions with sex. Is that kind of?
Yeah, she basically said like she's been in so many strictly dickly relationships that she doesn't even think she's capable of experiencing sex and emotion at the same time. Like she doesn't even, that's when she started crying, because she was just like, I don't even know. I think her saying it made it real, and she just felt like, I don't even know if I have the capacity to really be emotionally involved with somebody that I'm having sex with, because sex has always just been sex. She said with anybody she's been with, it's just been sex, which is one, sad, and two, super sad. To me, makes the case as to why he want to wait. Yeah. Like, all she did to me was add 4 more weeks onto her sentence. Yup. Because he like, is that right? I got something for that ass. Yeah. But I thought that it was really, I enjoyed how Dr. Viviana was pushing back on him to give real answers. Because we were having this conversation with our sister yesterday. And she was saying that because he's from a religious background, that may be why he's not so into or forthcoming or motivated by sex, right? Where I just don't believe that, because the only people in the church is whores and pimps and homosexuals, respectfully. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that we all sinners, you know what I mean? The only people who go into church is people who's sinning. So it's like, I don't understand. So my thing is like, I don't really believe that. I think that we as a people, anatomically, sex is a part of our day to day, right? I want to believe that he wants this foundation and he wants this and he wants that. But Dr. Viviana asked, do you think he a virgin? And I'm going with Dr. Viviana on that. I'm going with, he's not as experienced as we think he is. And not to say he's a virgin, but he's just not as experienced. And maybe the experiences that he has had have been aligned with people whom he ain't even ever been in love. So, you know, I was going to say whom he loved, but he ain't even ever been in love. I just think it's something there. It's something very, not to say that 3 weeks in, he made a very good point. He said, it's only been 3 weeks. I agree with that. And she said, in this short period of time, and I'm like, sis, it's been 3 weeks. Yeah, I know I said a lot. So to go back and clarify what we was talking about with our sister, what Jazz was saying was that she thinks that growing up in the church, which we did, me and Jazz, we understand how you can be conditioned to think a certain way, and even after the curtain is pulled back and you have more insight and you realize like that's not necessarily true, you are still conditioned to act how you were taught, right? Like for example, my dad was taught very young in the church, you didn't go to the movie theaters. The movie theaters was the devil, right? He is 70 something years old right now. He's probably been to the movie theater still less than a handful of times, less than 5 times, maybe 2 or 3, because he was so conditioned to think that it was bad that even when he knew it was fine and it wasn't, the devil, it's something in him just still didn't allow him to be comfortable with going to the movie theater. So that's what she was saying, which it might be something to that. I don't know. The other thing that I feel that I don't think that he's inexperienced. I don't think that he's a virgin. I don't even think that it's his religion that is holding him back from having sex. I think he's not attracted to her personality-wise. She is very shallow and has no depth to her. Their conversations don't go anywhere. When they was trying to have an in-depth conversation the other week at the donut shop, she like freaked out, and like she was almost upset. She was almost upset that he wanted to have real conversation. It's similar to Eric and Virginia. Like she was almost like turned off by the fact that he's like telling her stuff about his life and like giving her insight on where he came from, And so I think that he's turned off by that. And I think that we talked about this before, but I think that people have this misconception that all men are just lions and they just want meat. They just want raw meat. And it doesn't take, the same way that you will have to rev a woman up to want to have intercourse in certain situations. People don't think that applies to men. And it's false. It's patently false. Everybody is different, but some men are not just here to hump and like rabbits. And so there are men out there that need an intellectual connection with a person to be physically aroused and be physically. It's only about 6 of them out there. That's not true. But I agree. But there are men out there that need an emotional connection, that need something deeper than Clara to actually want to go there with them. You know what I'm saying? Especially somebody who they just met. You know what I mean? But so I think that stuff has more to do with it than all of the other, him being a virgin and any. I don't think none of that.
Clara is just, it was really, really sad to watch. It was heartbreaking. Not even sad. It was just heartbreaking to watch because, she, even her talking about her previous relationship and how she had been with somebody for 3 years and hadn't had sexual contact with them for 3 months. 3 months. 3 times a year. Mm-hmm. I was just like, this, first of all, she's a sugar baby. It's not up for debate. Second of all, he's taking that Cialis to get that thing rearing and ready to go. Okay? He's dropping a dick off 3 times a year and keeping it moving. I'm dead serious, dropping it off. And listen, sis, she wanted love, and he just was like, I'm gonna give you some money. Okay, and that's it. Because she just getting used to paying her bills again on her own and all stuff like that. And I'm like, girl, it's a lifestyle. I get it, but it's just, I just feel like it's a lot. This cast is really broken, and it's really sad to watch as a whole. 100%. As a whole, it's really like we're watching Iyanla every week. Almost. You know what I mean. Yeah. But let's go on into Haley and Jacob. Good job, babe. Haley and Jacob. So, first things first, I don't know if you caught this when we watched it. Jacob says when he's when he was talking to Dr. Viviana and they were talking about communication, he says that Haley hadn't texted him all night and she said she was spending the night at Paige's house. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
You want to know why that's weird? And she lying? First of all, she lying. I heard it today and I said, oh, this bitch is lying. You a cheating asshole. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's weird. You is, and it's not up for debate. The reason why it's weird is because Paige live in the same goddamn building. So you ain't across town. You ain't across town. I get it if you drunk. No, I don't. Because when the clock strikes midnight in this house, I go, oops, hoes, I got to go. Yeah. I got to get in the house. It's a new day. My man don't play that. But my thing is like, why? Something is going on, and I don't know if y'all feel it, but it's going to be an undercurrent, and she is definitely going to be she's laying down and spreading wide with somebody else.
I'm not gonna.
That's my prediction.
I'm not gonna lie. Her staying at Paige's house is a little. That's
a lie.
It's a little.
It's a lie. And Paige gonna really out her though. Paige is gonna be like, she ain't saying mine. Watch, because Paige is blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, how about that?
All right.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a little shaky. I mean, if that's if that's what she does, some people, she maybe she has a close relationship with Paige now, and they doing sleep. I didn't even. It's not far fetched. So I get it. But I also didn't even see that connection happen.
When?
With Haley and Paige, for them to be having sleepover.
Well, they said that they are really, she been hanging out with Paige and everything like that. But that's a lot. Like, me and my girlfriend, y'all know, if you my girlfriend, we sleeping in the bed together. Like, that, we real girlfriends. Like, you know what I mean? But but that's girlfriends I had for years. Yeah. No, I would lay in the bed with Thomasina. I haven't had Thomasina
Yeah, but it's just, but you have a relationship.
Yeah, we got a real relationship. Like that's my girl.
If you told me that you was going over some chick house that you met 3 weeks ago, I'd be like, that's weird.
And spending the night,
yeah. Like I'd be like,
you would be like, you're cheating.
I'd be like, okay,
she's cheating on me. Period. And I just feel like, the conversation that they had where Dr. Viviana kind of like really was trying to. Dr. Viviana came back to talk to Haley. She talked to her twice, one with him and one by herself. But she just really wanted to make sure that she wasn't giving up on the relationship. And I thought that was really important because they were sleeping in separate rooms and not having not much physical contact. And she was really troubled by the fact that she does not like Jacob. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Viviana made a valid point where she said, you wrote to us. Dr. Viviana went back into her questionnaire and said, you told us that you were too picky and don't give people chances. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're just not giving him a chance. Mm-hmm. Because the real tea, we can talk about, he not a bad looking guy. Maybe to her. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the reality is that you can tell he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, he's not. She's just not into him. She's not into him. She's not attracted to him.
But a lot of times when you're not... Okay, hear me out. Do you feel like sometimes you're not into people, right? And that's just what it is, right? And sometimes, on the other hand, you so effed up, you can't tell whether or not you into somebody or not because your idea of what into is so warped that you really ain't into anybody. That's why you single.
Give me an example.
Damn. I don't want to say. Okay, I'll give you an example. This might not be a good example though. So I have a friend who says she wants to be in a relationship, meets people all the time, doesn't really like them, can't get into them, whatever the case may be, right? But will continue to be available with everybody, mm-hmm. right? And I had a conversation with her like, do you think that it's a them thing or a you thing? Because you don't show up in spaces in the manner that you should to warrant somebody who would give you what you want.
So I think these are two different issues.
Okay.
I think that is an issue, and
I think that's one of her issues.
I think that's an issue that people that a lot of people have. I think that the issue, a separate issue, is not feeling a connection with a person.
Yes.
Like she said, I vibe with people. I have no problem vibing with people, and I just can't vibe with him.
But you
hold on, let me finish real quick because I don't want to lose my train of thought.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think that was one of the issues that she said she had with him, and then not being attracted to them. So not physically attracted to them. So not what she is not physically attracted to them, and she will not say it. Like she kind of said it in the past couple of weeks, but like I said, we talked about why I think she afraid to say it and all that stuff. We already went into that. But so I think those two things they're different issues. So I think yes, there may be some merit in the fact that like, how she shows up and giving people a chance, judging people too quick, moving on. But I think there's a whole nother separate side of conflict and dilemma for them lies in her not being physically attracted to him, and then her not being a match personality wise with him, vibe wise with him.
But that's what I think I'm getting at. You can't say that, it was different with other people, and you ain't never been married. You ain't never been in a long-term relationship. Your friends tell you all the time you got commitment issues. This is what I'm saying. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So although two things can be true, in this space, that means something.
Yeah, it could definitely come into play here.
It means something that you can say that and don't realize and recognize that you have not been in a successful relationship. You actually don't know what it looks like.
Clearly, there's something, you're on this show, clearly there's an area of improvement that you need as far as picking partners.
I'm just
and so that may be one of the areas. That just may be one of the areas. But I think two things can be true. I think that can be,
and she just not that into it.
I can think that can be an issue, and I think she could also just not be into it.
Well, Dr. Viviana wants her to spend a little more time with him, affection-wise, sleeping in the bed, which I think is a very good prescription. and to kiss him at night and in the morning. She ain't saying make out all day. She's saying be intentional, kiss your husband in the morning, kiss your husband at night. I thought that was an easy thing. Not easy. I thought that was I understood where Dr. Viviana was going. Yeah. Because you have to put time in. You have to be intentional about the things you want, right? You want to be in this relationship, right? Mm-hmm. She said yes. So be intentional. Not even spend time with your husband. Kiss your husband in the mouth. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something. You already slept with him. You can't take it back. So, like, at this point, not to say lean in, you got to spread it wide, but the least you can do is be open to affection. Yes. Because I think that will open him up. He is literally sitting in a space where he don't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah, he doesn't. And it'll definitely open him up.
He like, what do I do? I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to, whatever you want to say, you say it, and then I'll say something, and then you say something. What was the robot movie you just did? Like, what That's what he's like. But she didn't even want to kiss that man in the mouth. And first of all, I went back and watched it again. So you know how y'all was saying, it's the same night. He all trying to rush. It was the next night.
Oh, when he was like, what did he ask for, a kiss?
He asked for a kiss. It was the next night.
He asked for a kiss and she said,
no, I'm not ready for all that.
I'm not ready for all
he
of
said
that.
I think he was being facetious.
She grossed out by
when
him,
he
y'all.
said,
I'm about to just go there. She's just
I think you gotta go there.
She just grossed out.
But I want her to just say that.
She can't. I told y'all she cannot say that. I told y'all why. She not gonna say that.
Annoying and they annoying and I ain't got time. So talking about another annoying group of black people they ain't black. Nah. I ain't never been annoyed by black people so much in my life. I mean, in my life, they up there with the guy who was ratting out the Black Messiah.
Oh,
they up there with that boy. Okay,
yeah, the snitch
like I'm at the point where I find their presence abhorrent. Like I'm like, done.
Rough.
Like it's getting rough to watch. So Dr. Viviana comes in, blam blam blam. Right? She is like, listen,
turned up.
I don't know who you are. She said, I watched the footage and I'm like, this is not the guy that we chose.
Now let's put a pin in this part.
Okay, babe, go ahead.
I took offense to that part, and here's why. What y'all won't do is come in here and absolve yourself of all responsibility. Y'all not gonna come in here and act like y'all didn't know nothing about Chris when y'all picked him to be on the show. And I knew they was gonna come out. They've been doing it already. Some of y'all know. They've been doing it already on Instagram and on Twitter. Somebody will tweet something and they'll bite back, which is how you know.
Dr. Viviana been biting back.
Which is how you know they feel convicted when somebody drops a comment and says, why would the experts pick them? Yeah. They knew that he's da-da-da-da-da. They bounced back. We didn't know da-da-da. And this was her opportunity to do it on air. Yeah. And I thought it was a reach to get on here and say, she had to make a point of, you just are a different person from when I met you and we interviewed with you. Bullshit. I don't want to hear that. Because now y'all going to act like, he turned into y'all didn't know that he was this pretentious, attention kind of loving guy. Y'all didn't know that he had a fiance and he just got out of a relationship a week ago. Y'all didn't know that they had an engagement party and the video was online and open. I don't
know if it was on YouTube prior to that.
This was before this had to be before she took her what's the fiance's name? Melissa or something with an M? This was before Mercedes. This was before Mercedes. This was before Mercedes took her.
Marlene.
Took her.
She's a non-factor.
This is before she took her social media down. She like made all her stuff private. She deleted some of her social media pages. So when y'all do your due diligence on everybody else to be a potential cast member for the show, y'all just skipped the part where y'all looked into Chris's life and found out anything about him. Y'all not gonna do that. I'm not letting y'all do that.
Chris is an evil villain. And it is really disgusting to watch how he wields the Lord.
He's playing games.
He's playing games.
And she making it easy for him to play these games.
But let me tell y'all something. And I'm just making a prediction about Chris and his life, respectfully. Talking about the people in the church. Chris ain't no good, okay? And Chris is going to be on a episode of American Greed. And I don't give a damn something about him is so skeevy and slimy. And you want to be proud of our black men for making moves and moving and shaking and doing what they got to do. But something about his spirit, this mother jumper don't even got to say anything to me. It's the way he walk in the room that looks slimy to me. Like, you know what I mean? He is the definition of a used car salesman. Like, I just feel like he's selling lemons. He is a lemon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you come in here, then you say like, oh, then I got married and I felt like I fell into a depressive state. He feel like he making all the wrong decisions. This was the wrong decision. You ruining somebody's life, you raggedy motherfucker. You is. And the real thing, she had some real men in her life. They'd have broke his legs by now. Because you really come in here and you think you somebody and we're gonna show you not. That's the kind of people I come from. I don't know who these men is. Like, the idea that...
it's very clear that she don't really have men in her life. But she wouldn't still be here.
Honey, you was 100%... You are 100% correct. So, they sit down and talk, and Paige relives and recounts the last couple weeks, or whatever the case may be, for Dr. Viviana. And Chris proceeds to give excuses, and she just basically says she just want a phone call, a text. How thirsty are you? Parched.
Yo, it was.
What is the desert like at night?
It was.
Are you thirsty?
It was rough.
Fiji water?
Yes.
Would you like some taps sparkling?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It was rough. It was.
You just want to fuck. I wish I might.
It was rough to watch.
I wish I might.
Yeah, it was.
I wish I might. The biggest thing, first of all, y'all remember when Monique had Charm School? Do you remember this?
Yes.
Monique used to have Charm School, y'all. We might be aging ourselves, but Monique used to have Charm School on VH1.
Yeah.
So she would take all the girls that was in like Flavor of Love, Rock of Love, and put them in a school and just teach them how to be like good women. That's where Paige needs to go. Monique! Auntie Mel, you need to come around here and get Paige and get her together. Because this low self-esteem stuff.
Ayala need to come get Paige. She need to go right from this show to fix my life. 1,000%.
She need to go somewhere because the way that they are wielding the Lord is only the devil's work. And I don't give a damn what nobody say.
Not only that,
it's only the devil's work. That,
men will only go as far as a woman will allow them to go. And at this point, as much as a fuckboy Chris is,
thank you for saying
Paige is allowing him to run.
She's giving him room to graze
over her.
He in the Lion King. He like literally like.
It's to the point where I can't get burned up about the stuff that Chris does at this point because Paige just lets it happen, and she opens the door for it to happen every week.
Babe.
And it feels like every week he comes back and he challenges her. It feels like every week he comes back and he's like, "What can I do? Are you ready for this?"
Let's
Paige?
talk about a challenge. He bring you fried chicken and get a bitch of bands. He bring you fried motherfucking chicken, a chicken plate. He bring you a chicken plate and give her a Benz. She ordered the chicken. She ordered the Benz.
And he told you, and then asked you how you feel about that. Like it's almost like he's prodding. It's almost like he's.
I'd have burned down the entire building.
It's almost
I'd have
like
burned down the entire building. It's not
he's trying to see like how far can I go with this? Like this is legit a game for him. Like he's trying to see how far can. It's almost like he's trying to see how far can I go before she stops picking up the phone every time I tell her I want to meet up. And then I want to meet up, and I have no plans for us.
But
like, I want to meet up, but like, you figure something out. Like, it's like he's trying to see, like, how far can I go? To how wild can I look in this situation? And my issue is that this has been happening for 9-10 episodes now, y'all. And Paige goes back every time. At some point, what did they say? Fool me once,
but then
shame
Dr.
on
Viviana,
me.
yes.
And then, at what point?
9 times?
Come on, bro. Come on.
What did they say for 9 times?
I don't know. What's the saying then?
But the thing is that Dr. Viviana straight up asked her like, why?
But I'm so glad somebody hold this woman accountable for her actions, right?
She blames it on God.
Now we know that Chris is a fuck nigga. It's not nothing. There's nothing changing about the Chris situation. The Chris part of this story has not changed in 10 episodes. So what is the tricky part? Like where does the asterisk come in? It's Paige. I'm so glad that she just asked her, like, yo, why do you keep, because I don't think none of her friends are her friends asking her, why do you keep going back? Why do you keep showing up? Why do you keep meeting with him? Why do you keep picking up the phone? Like, why are you still on the show, Paige?
You done busted low, spread it wide for a mother jumper who only bought you a chicken plate. First of all, this would never, ever, and you know how they say, don't say never, ever, ever be my story. Because I don't even play with men who got kids. Because I am a mortgage. You got, ask Joe. Joe ain't got no money because I got all the money. Okay? And that's the truth. I'm just genuinely trying to figure out how you sitting at the table with 4 wings and french fries and coleslaw, and she just got a Benz, and you don't light shit on fire. And
she always done.
Light it on fire.
She always done. I'm done. I mean,
he just sat in my face, and I would have been like, what you buy me? You bought her a Benz. What you buy me? I know it ain't this raggedy ass chicken. You must have bought Harold's chicken. You must have bought the whole Harold's chicken. You know what I mean? You bought me the whole Harold's?
Yeah, he bought. Yeah.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Cause what you think? First of all, he didn't buy that woman transportation because
he bought her a car because that's his woman. Yes, that's his woman. Like, but we know it. Like, this is not new. This is his woman. He want to be with her. He told you to your face. I love her. I'm in love with her.
And if he didn't tell you nothing, he bought you 4 wings and fried rice. Okay. How much?
And then asked you how you feel about that. Like, the brazen. I don't even got the ball. Like, let me tell you something. I've lived a life. And I've been out here living my young rock star life in the year before I was a God-fearing potential husband. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine doing the brazen stuff that he says to people's face.
In my face?
How do you feel?
You gonna play in my face?
I bought her a Benz. How do you feel about that?
I'd have punched him.
And he sat there with a smile on his face.
I'd have punched him in his mouth. And y'all know, I know y'all gonna be like, oh, don't be talking about the mess about. I'd have punched him in his mouth. The idea that you bring me 4 wings, you better have the key to Harold's. Cause you better own that bitch. You better have owned the Harold's. Period. Is it in my name? Cause you bought her a Benz? But honestly though, what annoys me more is that all he had to say on TV, this is another reason why I think he ain't no good. All you had to say on TV is, I bought her a car. That's how you know he's a horrible. He needed people to know.
He's trying to twist
needed people to know that it was.
Sure, y'all, come on.
And that's just more validation for him.
But he also he had to also part of twisting the knife in a situation is to tell her like, so I bought her a car and I bought her a Benz and I just bought
exactly.
Her you know what I mean? Like he keeps and guess what? Let's get it out there right now. Next week it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be he's gonna try her with something else. Next week it's gonna be a house. I bought her a house. I wonder how you feel about that. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's gonna be. Next week is gonna be we moving in together. How you feel about that?
But I'm gonna tell you what he did. 2 things I want to end with. Okay, 2 things. First thing is he told the other John that he going to Bible study. You see how he pulled up like, that's what he told the other.
You know what? No. You know what? I'm not gonna go with that. I think he is 100% transparent with his fiance Mercedes.
Stop saying that name on my channel. Stop it. This don't got nothing to do with her, and I really want us to be.
No, it do got something to do with Mercedes.
Slow up.
It do.
I'm gonna tell you this. Stop saying her name because my thing is. This is my thing, and I want to be real clear about this. We talking about married at first sight, okay? Respectfully, that young lady has made a decision. That's her own decision. We ain't making people stars. Stop saying her name.
I didn't make her a star. I'm just saying, Lifetime made her a star.
I'm just saying, stop saying the name. We're not doing that. Your name it is what it is, okay? Because the real tea is that this is about Paige and that other mother Joe. I don't even want to say his name.
People need to know who we talking about.
They don't.
Chris has a name. Like, they all have names.
All I'm saying is
they're a throuple. You gotta say, like, how do people know who they talk? How do people know?
They are an absolute throuple, y'all. It's not even. If Chris just want to be in a polyamorous relationship, why don't you just say that?
Because he really don't want Paige. He just want the attention that comes with Paige.
The last thing I wanted to end with is Haley don't like Jake because he got a small penis. I've been thinking about this, y'all. I've been thinking about this. This is random. I know I'm ending on this, but I don't care. He's a little dicky. And I'm not sure, but I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I'm sure because say you laid down somebody, right? And he blew your mind. We all, and I don't even want to talk, I don't even want to tell my business, but we've all lived a life where people might not have been the most aesthetically pleasing, but they, you know.
But their sex was good.
They living a lie. So my thing is, he ain't digging her down. He didn't dig her down. And that was the issue. And then she was like, and you don't got good dick? And that's what we're going to end it on.
I got so much. All right.
That's what we're going to end it on. If you have not already, bust down, subscribe to this channel. We love to chit chat with you guys. Tell us everything you are thinking about this episode of Married at First Sight. And what are your rankings? Who is surviving after the 8 weeks? And I guess we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later.
Peace.
Bye.